Wolf's Arrow by Pierce Holden Abasso. Some decades ago, a newborn wolf received a special gift, sociability and curiosity in the beautiful north. The puppy meant joy for the family of the wolf, blessed with his heritage and the recent addition to the colony and the ability it bestowed. The gift remained untouched inside the wolf puppy for the first year of its life, until a light day turned dark as a jealous bow and arrow, like a coyote waiting for its prey, lurked behind the pup and proceeded to strike the gift like a lightning strike. In a minute, the puppy and an arrow stick stuck to his head created a new sense of intelligence in the young wolf's mind. Still, because the needle of the arrow was on the damage present, the sociability vanished like forest mist. The arrow also hit the wolf child's brother, who emerged unscathed from his gift. After several years strolling by, the wolf child could not talk or interact with someone without raging fire or crying a rainstorm. As his intelligence side was growing, sealed shut inside a tree hole. When the wolf pup was happy, he was unaware of passing wolves in his colony, and bumped into each passing one, much to the dismay and embarrassment of his family and territory. The wolf still had his gift, but the arrow sabotaged the gift's job and would not complete its task. As the wolves looked into the pup, the arrow was more of the attraction rather than the pup's needs, and they saw him as more of a mosquito on the other hand pushing the sharp arrow. A caregiver blindly caught the trust of the wolf's parents, and the only thing the caregiver did was create scary, loud noises so that being petrified would make the caregiver happy. Of any noise he came across, thus taking advantage of the arrow. The wolf thought he had many friends during this time. Still, he instead was ridiculed for his arrow, and the premature fear of noises would make the other young wolves persuade the young pups that loud noises were about to sound, causing the young wolf to be anxious about anything. The pup can only be remembered for his arrow instead of the gift. It was like the arrow and his talent was battling in a brawling stampede. As much as the pup tried to speak out his feelings and his family's plea of understanding, the arrow reminded the many wolves not to listen to the cries. The wolf pup, gifted with sociability and curiosity, but with an arrow stuck to his head that damaged the gift, was exiled from his colony and faced ridicule and rejection. Unfamiliar and scared with the new settlement, the puppy felt the tsunami within him, as many new puppy wolves expressed their curiosity but frustration. The ignorant continued to see the arrow as something more of a laugh show rather than a need of acceptance. While the smart helped the pup in little time pulling the arrow, the trend as the years strolled by, as new wolves met the wolf with the arrow, he became more accepted by many. But wolves pushed the arrow as fake as waterfalls made by hunters. To the wolf pup, his new life was going to be far from likely to be hell-like as his original colony, which was faithful to the wolves that were loyal to the arrowed pup, but to some wolves friendly in disguise. The truth would clear the wolf's sense of reality. The fakeness slipped the puppy like insects into the wolf's fur when he reached his teenage years. A beautiful and bombastic wolf informed the innocent and insecure wolf about a wolf controlling her life in a way she never wanted. After the innocent heard the alleged story, his arrow was ripped out by a little who freed the tsunami demonstrated years ago. As the tsunami finished, the beautiful wolf left the innocent behind with a lie linked to him, leading to his family and the colony, punishing the wolf by further pushing in his arrow, shunning and ridiculing for his damaged social gift. Though injured in a socialite, the wolf gained more perspective from his intelligence. With no sadness in his heart, the former innocent wolf felt that the beautiful and bombastic wolf in his life was not worth the arrow's pushing, cutting ties with her. The arrow was now where the gift could interact without battling. Every wolf friend the wolf pup made, the present and arrow presented a sight of pride and resilience. However, that slight pride only pushed the arrow deeper with every hint of fake he sensed in his friends. A hidden pattern for the next 2 years occurred without the knowledge of the wolf, but one of those friends would shape his friend cycle forever. Later, the wolf's arrow grew more profound into the wolf's head, even further by his 17th birthday. Up until his birthday, his best friend was always joyful to see him, even with the revoking arrow to his head. To the wolf, she would always be there whenever rain poured onto his day, and nothing could ever push back her care for him. However, her side had a whole new meaning. She vanished into the wolf pup's light without a spoken word. The optimistic and patient wolf looked at his current acquaintances and friends in case his friend decided to return. Though the young wolf successfully interacted, his flashbacks of his best friend covered him in darkness. Months crawled up as the young and disturbed wolf defined and wondered. The wolf could not wait for his friend's sudden departure, so he set out on a journey to find his friend through painful rocks and treacherous rivers along the wolf's journey. After a day of strenuous hiking, the wolf finally found his friend. However, he realized that she was happier with another wolf, and his realization left him feeling heartbroken and defeated. As the wolf returned to his colony, sadness lurked into the pup's mind. As more and more knowledge of the people he once loved began to betray the wolf, making the arrow push deeper and deeper until the wolf fell ill. The wolf stuck in his anxious and depressive mood catches up to him with sickness. Sores scattered around the young wolf's body, and any worry about his sores would build up more sores, working with the arrow's devilish side and the gift's damage. Many reminders of the wolf's loss of his past friends would only make him more in the shadow, confusing and doubting the young wolf for what he was. Darkness and the arrow were about to be the only thing that would stick to the wolf's reputation, until one day he found a wolf flock celebrating who they were, and one of the wolves approached the sick wolf and decided to interact with him. After the ill wolf expressed his problems, The prideful wolf reminds the young wolf that even though wolves could push him down, that does not mean he should listen to them. And the only wolf he should listen to is himself more than any other wolf. The advice stuck with the young wolf for most of his life. He lied about himself as just a pest in the woods ready to be hunted, but the prideful wolf's advice saved him from any further doubt the young pup put on himself. After the interaction, the young wolf flipped his life, but the opposite of what the wolf used to be. He hiked more into the forest he loved, gaining a love for nature and exercise. In the wolf's social life, he gained more confidence to find new friends who benefited and admired him, unlike the fake wolves in his earlier dark. Realizing he was not the only wolf with an arrow to his head, he educated himself over time to understand people of his kind and shared that education with others. As this progress rolled around, the wolf's gifts and arrow were no longer a rival inside of the wolf's head, but allies to help with the young wolf's mind as his life rolled around. Though the young wolf still had the arrow to his head, he accepted it for what it meant, and that no other wolf in his life would control or back him down on what the wolf intended it to be. Arthur's note. This short story has been on my mind for some fragments. Throughout most of my life, I had to go through many obstacles to find myself, like overcoming artificial fears, sudden fire alarms, dealing with bullies, fake people, illness, ulcers, NAFLD, and fake promises. In my eyes, many people responses to autism make it a polarization to many because of how people present it. I have always considered parents with children having autism as role models, including my own. But from my point of view, the people with autism are always going to be the primary source for this topic. A lot of people with autism try to present themselves to an audience. Some were well praised, which makes my heart warm, while some ruin the autism credibility by defending their actions in the name of autism to any type of criticism, which has always annoyed me. Even with adversities that came my way, I did not fall flat and let those adversities roll me down. The close to 21 years of my life has not been an easy ride, like most people my age. But even with that, I still enjoyed life, like hiking, traveling to new places, and exercising, even with my autism lingering in the distance. I cannot thank the people who have been with me enough for the compassion and understanding they have given to me. And if it was not for them and the strategies used along my path, I would not be the person I am now. And I cannot wait to see what the future holds. To any person with autism who is overcoming just as much as I have, do not worry what people think about you. You are loved for who you are and are not afraid. You are loved for who you are and are not afraid to love yourself. Focus on yourself and your goals sometimes. There's a time to be selfish and a time to be selfless. Thank you.